This is a compact but detailed guide on how to run T5 Electric Abyss with the Stormbringer. The fit is in the video description. It is more expensive than necessary, mostly for safety and convenience, as we will see later. The fit does not require abyssal modules, but a faster Microwarpdrive can help finish rooms faster. Most rooms are done in roughly the same way. First you approach the closest extraction cache, then you target and kill enemies that have warp disruptors or webifiers. Continue killing enemies as you loot extraction caches. If it looks like you will be done looting before all enemies are dead, feel free to overheat your gun. Your default ammo of choice should be Galvasurge. While it deals slightly less damage than Electropunch, it has superior range and application, which in practice helps finish rooms faster. You will be switching to Electropunch and less commonly Strike Snipe when the situation requires it. The following clips will teach you how to deal with certain rooms safely and efficiently. I will try to mention all important details as well as rough expectations for how quickly the room is completed. The first noteworthy room is Charybdis Tyrannos. Your tank is more than sufficient to face tank Karen if necessary, kill webs and scrams as usual, and proceed to loot extraction caches. Once Tackle is dead, start damage on Karen. You may have to load Strike Snipe to reach her, depending on the room layout. Karen has a lot of shields, so I would recommend overheating your gun for the entire fight. Once you are done looting, set a tight orbit and load Electropunch. Sometimes Karen will move into a white cloud. This is a problem for two reasons. Firstly, your orbit around her might slingshot you out of the room, and secondly, the speed cloud makes her fast enough to mitigate some Electropunch damage. If this happens, you should switch to Galvasurge and try to chase Karen out of the cloud by carefully positioning yourself opposite of the direction you want her to go. Turning off the Microwarpdrive can help you navigate more carefully. As soon as Karen enters structure, you can approach the gate. Finishing the room should take you about 4.5 to 5 minutes. The next room worth mentioning is nobody's favorite, the Abyssal Overmind. The fight is similar to Charybdis Tyrannos, except that the potato has roughly twice the HP. This means that after removing any Snarecaster drones, you should get in orbit quickly and start dealing damage. You should also manage your heat. I usually run 2 cycles hot, then 1 cold, then 2 hot again. The goal is to have your gun about half burned by the time the fight is over, so that you can deal with a second Overmind or some other room that requires heat. Similar to Charybdis Tyrannos, you should try to herd the Overmind out of white clouds while shooting Galvasurge. The fight should last between 7 and 8 minutes. The Overmind has an extra 25% HP in Tier 6, which is the only reason why this Stormbringer fit should not be run in Tier 6 Abyss, unless you're feeling lucky. The Edencom room is likely the most dangerous. Your goal is to kill the battleships quickly. approach the bioadaptive cache, overheat your gun, and start shooting the battleships immediately. If there are 3 or more battleships, overheat your hardeners. If there are 4 or 5, turn off your microwarpdrive to reduce your signature and be prepared to overheat your shield booster as well. Once the battleships are dead, remember to turn off heat, kill whatever is left, and loot the room. The Leshak room is my favorite. It has all of the fast-paced action of the Edencom room, but with none of the danger. Just approach the biocache, target a few of the Leshaks, overheat your gun and start shooting. In some rare cases, the Leshaks might spawn inside a white cloud and disperse before you can kill them all at once. In that case, you have no choice but to chase them down one by one and kill them separately. The Angel room is not dangerous, but particularly annoying, as you will be webbed down to a crawl for most of it. If you see any Lucifer bursts, kill them first. You may have to reload to strike snipe, which is also annoying. Your next priority are elite Lucifer signables. These have high resists and significant local shield reps, so you have to load Electro Punch and overheat for a long time, which is again annoying. Once all elite signables are dead, clean up the rest of the room, starting with whatever is webbing you. Lastly, kill any Lucifer Ixions, which annoyingly orbit outside of splash range. This room can take anywhere from about 3 to about 6 minutes. The Deep Watcher room is not difficult, but there are a few things worth noting. Firstly, this is one of the rooms where you should overheat liberally, as the Deep Watchers have fairly high HP. Kill any Wardens, Spearfishers or Entanglers so you don't get slowed down while looting. Sometimes one of the Deep Watchers gets bumped off away from the others. It is possible but difficult to bump him back into splash range. Deep Watchers are very slow, even in a white cloud. Don't bother chasing them around, just load Galva Surge and keep overheating. Lastly, Deep Watchers shoot torpedoes with very high damage but very low explosion velocity. You should never sit completely still unless you really want to test your tank. This room should take you about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how much heat you use. I decided to include the following 2 clips, even though they were recorded in Tier 6 electrical. This is to demonstrate that this fit can run Tier 6 just fine, as long as you don't run into Abyssal Overminds and their massive HP pools. In this first clip, I'm fighting a large number of Kikimoras with anchoring Damavix for tackle. Kikimoras are known for ramping up to high damage numbers fairly quickly, and their remote wrapping capabilities are not bad either. To my knowledge, most other ships would require lots of micromanagement, drugs, and possibly prayer to deal with this room. In contrast to most other rooms, I chose to ignore the warp disrupting ships at first. This is because Kikimoras in particular can often catch Damavix with their remote wraps, while also dealing large amounts of damage. In Tier 5 Abyss you can sometimes snipe the anchoring and tangling Damavix quickly. However, if you notice them being repaired, you should quickly switch to whatever is repairing them. The next room is inhabited by Vela Triglavians. You might think that the large number of swarmers would absorb lots of hits and slow you down. However, Galvasurge applies decently well to the swarmers, and the Triglavians only carry one spare set of drones, which makes it possible to defang them. In addition, you can use blue clouds and deviant automata suppressors to kill off the swarmers even faster, like I'm doing in this clip. Overall, Tier 5 Vela rooms should only take you about 4 minutes. This last clip is my attempt to run this single large Leshak room. Notice how there are blinding, starving and renewing Leshaks on grid. This is the most difficult combination. The blinding Leshaks reduce your targeting range to roughly 45 kilometers, thereby giving the renewing Leshaks time to start repairing everything else. The starving Leshaks have very strong energy neutralizers, especially at close range. My first mistake was not immediately using my strong blue pill. Making your shield booster more efficient helps fighting newt pressure, however, this effect is negated if you get the reduced capacitor side effect. I should have taken the booster immediately and checked the side effects before committing to the fight. At this point I should have turned off my Microwarpdrive. Here I should have popped the bioadaptive cache, looted it and ran away. Instead I am trying to kill off all starving Leshaks despite the fact that they are being repaired. I am also massively overwrapping at the cost of my scarce capacitor. I am out of capacitor and the Leshaks are pulling range. I finally decide to grab the loot and run away.
The capacitor is empty.
I decide to take the drugs as a last resort. Unbeknownst to me, the blue pill rolls all of its negative side effects. If it wasn't for my mistakes, as well as the deadly combination of blinding, starving and renewing Leshaks, this would have been a quick and easy room.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
I barely, just barely make it back to the gate and decide to call it a day.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
Thanks for watching.